Hello and welcome to PM Express Personality Profile. My name is Stephen Anti. I'm jumping into the seat. My guest today is a playwright, and for those of you who have watched romantic comedy, you possibly know who I am referring to. He describes his latest play as universally mind-blowing piece that depicts every bit of everyday life, clothed in rigorous humor with a touch of feminine emotions. I'm sure with such juicy words and wit, you find out who we have on our show today.
Boy, the brightness of this day has given me the opportunity to stand before you this morning to bring you words of wisdom on this august occasion of pomp and pageantry. Indeed, my grandfather once said that wisdom is like a baobab tree. It never can be embraced by one person. Indeed, this is the day the Lord has made, and we will be rejoicing and be glad in it. Crossing the sinking waters of Bella Venezia, we found our way to this strange land of Anyamaket. We came to see darkness, and we smelled darkness. Whilst rain was beating us, the sun was also shining to beat us some more. But like leopards, we stood tall, because no matter how hard the rain beats the leopard, it can never wash off its spots.
Welcome back to PM Express Personality Profile, and my guest today is Nii Commey. It's great to have you with us. I haven't met you before.
Yes,
you've been doing incredible work, making people laugh here and there. How do you do it?
I usually like working behind closed doors, and for as long as my product is being enjoyed or being appreciated by the masses, it gives me joy. It gives me fulfillment just to know that what God has instilled in me is being enjoyed by people. So basically, I give praise to God.
But you come across as a very cool, laid-back person. How do you crack people up that way? Sometimes you drown your audience in laughter.
I don't really know whether it's an attitude of writers, because usually you have to, on a daily basis, be looking out for things that you're working with your friends that they do not see. You always have to look at issues the second time and look at the other side, the crazy aspect of whatever you see. So usually we spend quite a number of time putting pen on paper and coming. But naturally, I'm a reserved type. I'm quite unassuming, and so sometimes.
Unassuming, but very assuming.
Yes, I remember there was a time that somebody met me, and after watching my romantic nonsense, the person met me, and the friend introduced the person to me. He said, "Oh, this is Nii Commey, the writer." The person looked at me from top to down and said, "Are you sure you're the one who wrote it?" I just smiled and said, "Yes, I wrote it." So sometimes you come across people who try to find out whether you wrote it based on your outlook and your demeanor.
So when you're writing, do you laugh?
There have been
do you perceive laughter?
There have been one or two times that I have laughed at something that I've written, and I just picture or imagine how the audience are going to embrace it, and then I'll just be there all alone, and then I'll burst into laughter. But sometimes I don't even know some of the things that I write would make people laugh. When I wrote romantic nonsense, I didn't know people were going to laugh. I was shocked. People were sitting down and they laughed from morning till evening. And so
and drying their tears with handkerchiefs.
It was something else. And you know, romantic nonsense is a play that anytime I stage it at the National Theatre, the place gets choked. We've staged it in Ho, we've staged it in Kumasi, and anytime we stage this play, the place gets choked, because it's a non-stop comedy, and from A to Z is full of comedy. And we don't only do comedy because we believe that with every comedy there must be a message that needs to be sent across.
So I'm sure that when you watch people engaging your work and enjoying it, you feel a certain level of satisfaction. That could possibly be one of the things which keep you going. What else keep you going every day to want to wake up and do the things you do and do it so well?
You know, every human being has a solution, a solution to the problems of humanity. And I discovered that this was what has been given to me. And so...
Given to you as in your gift?
But yeah, I mean, talent. By my maker, let me put it like that.
Did you used to do other things non-professionally to make people laugh, like in a family setting, crack jokes for friends and family?
Yeah, I realized that I'm the sarcastic. I realized that I'm the sarcastic type, and I do a lot of humorous activities amongst my friends and amongst my relatives. So my mom knows me to be a very naughty person when it comes to teasing or pulling people's legs. But then outside world, if I don't know the environment, I'm not too familiar with the environment, I appear as a gentleman.
Oh, you are a gentleman. You are a gentleman. So it means that you didn't just chance into theater, did you? Because you're telling me that you have a gift and, you know, certain parts of you like to make people laugh and sarcastic, you tease people. So you wouldn't say that you chanced into theater and later developed it as a profession?
Actually, back in secondary school, I read literature, English elective, and then French. These were my elective areas. And of the three courses, literature really caught my attention to the point that I could chew almost everything in the Shakespeare Merchant of Venice.
Chew and pour and forget.
I didn't forget. Till date, I can do some quotations from Shakespeare, Ola Rotimi, Charles Dickens, and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed literature. And strangely, based on the way they were writing, I decided to pick a pen and a paper, and I started writing from secondary school, Form 1. And my first article I wrote was published in the Daily Graphic. By then, there was no Junior Graphic, but they had a column for secondary school students, and I wrote my very first article, Thank You, Miss Rose, which was published in the Daily Graphic, and it was a source of pride for my school, Agri Memorial.
I see.
Yeah, and when it was published, because that was the only platform for secondary school students across the country. So when it was published, my school was there and all that. Those were the days of pen pals, and I received quite a number of pen pals from other schools and all that. I realized that people were, if Daily Graphic had published my work, it means that what I've written was good. So I went ahead to write and continue to write, and they were always publishing it. There were times that I realized that no, they were publishing my work too much, so people will come and say, you please, when you write, put our names there. So sometimes an article will come, somebody's name will be there, but I wrote that story for those people. So it was there that I picked the writing skills, and then I found myself in the Writers and Drama Club, and my drama teacher gave us he gave us a role to play at Stutra Fest in Cape Coast, and I developed the interest in that. I've been writing. Okay, let me now try writing some plays. So I started writing plays back in secondary school for the SU drama. So right after secondary school, I said, okay.
SU drama, so it means you were sort of the Griffith type. I mean.
You know, that word Griffith has been so much stigmatized.
You don't want to use it, right?
I prefer to say I'm a believer.
You're a believer.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at you relationship your secondary school days and you writing a play for the SU. Not many young people growing up with the talent to write would want to write for groups like that, really.
Yeah, it's true, because then if
or perhaps they won't see those groups as avenues to put into practice their gifts. Yeah,
because you realize that if you start thinking about the monetary aspects, it's going to really affect you in a negative way. Throughout my life, I've been writing for the church, and I would say that it was through the church that it's blossomed from there. Most of my plays that I've written are church-based, like Judas Iscariot in Accra, Once Upon the 25th December, and stuff like that. So I'm very active with church drama. I spent 4 years at the University of Ghana. I did theater arts, my first degree, majored in advanced playwriting, and my lecturers and colleagues do not know that I write plays.
Interesting.
Yes, so I'm sure they get very surprised to, if somebody was supposed to be writing plays at the National Theatre, it's not Nii Commey. I mean, Nii Commey was somebody who would come for lectures. He wouldn't even want to do productions. He would just, but I was doing it in the church setting because for me, I felt it was also a platform for me to write on issues, because I don't like writing empty plays. I want to write to address issues. And so why don't I get that opportunity to address issues in a dramatized form? So I found myself spending quality time doing church drama. But then it got to a point where you realize that you have to also reach out to the masses.
To the mainstream.
You're talking about social issues, political issues, economic issues in a dramatized form. And this cut across the socioeconomic spectrum. So I decided that, no, let's hit the National Theatre where we can open up to the wider public to come and enjoy what we have. And since then, it's been fruitful.
You know, many young people, we get the impression that when people are successful, I mean, I would describe you as extremely successful with playwright. People don't get the feel that you need to start small. You need to start from somewhere. You started writing for your school SU group, and then you went ahead. Now you're on the big national platform. I need to understand from you. Whilst you were doing all these, did you imagine yourself becoming that big playwright you are today? Did you see that in the dream or in the vision?
For some strange reason, even though I did not feel that way, I also felt that I have something to offer the world. And I'd always seen myself as I have a tool called a pen to influence society. And so as I started writing, I realized that there was a need for me to start from somewhere, because a couple of friends, sometimes some people just want to go to the National Theatre. They've actually contacted me too, because I can tell you that it's not that rosy to stage a play at the National Theatre. It's so expensive to run a show at the National Theatre. But then when you plan well and you take it one day at a time, you are able to weather the storm and then overcome your challenges. So that is not to say we are still not faced with challenges. I face quite a number of challenges anytime I'm staging a play. But then the ability to withstand the hot weather in times of challenges is also very, very important.
So was Romantic Nonsense the first one you took to the National Theatre?
Yes, that was the first one I actually took to the National Theatre in 2009. What God has put asunder, let no man put together. Then it was followed by You May Kiss the Corpse. You May Kiss the Corpse dealt with issues pertaining to funerals in Ghana, the interstate succession law, and it made mockery of people who are ignorant of the law, but they want to take opportunity to swindle people through the law. So these were the very key issues that I spoke about in You May Kiss the Corpse. And it will interest you to know that after that particular play, You May Kiss the Corpse, directing students from the University of Cape Coast, University of Education, Winneba, it is one play that the academicians want to see always.
Why?
Because well, it was not one of my favorites though, but I realized that I had to blend both the science and the art of theater.
Everything you've learned,
yes,
you put it into it.
So you watch
like a book-long kind of production, right?
Yes, but still meeting the standards of the day-to-day person who wants to enjoy theater, because you could find all the literary devices in that particular play. The thematic areas were so strong. And then when you watch it and you don't even know much about thematic areas and the oxymorons and the satires and all that, you still enjoy the play because it appeals to the masses. And students have staged this play for their final year project in Winneba, in UCC, and they've really excelled. And it really humbles me when I discover that.
Does it just humble you, or you make a lot of money too?
Seriously speaking, when they do it, you know, when they come, I'm the compassionate person. That's why I work with an NGO.
Oh, you don't make money from
I mean, when the students come, I don't really charge them.
Okay.
You know, they come with all the, you know, we've also been students before. Oh, please, let's direct it to this one. There is no money involved and all that. But then it got to a point where I realized that they were taking things for granted. So I had to make them give some form of commitment fee so that they will also appreciate the art. But I don't really charge them when they come. I just ask them to acknowledge the writer anywhere they paste their posters and other forms of communications that go on, because I believe that good name is better than riches.
Are you rich?
I'm not rich. I'm not rich. Your name? Yeah, we are.
So you are BKB?
Yeah, you know, to say I am rich, it's
a difficult question.
Yeah, it's a difficult question because it's relative. I don't know, because for somebody 1 million Ghana cedis makes him a rich person. Another person 10 million.
You know, the reason I'm asking this is the success rate of theater art is so low. I mean, until you came onto the scene, Uncle White, theater wasn't too popular. It was going down, actually. I mean, from the time we were growing up and acting plays to the time the National Theatre came up, plays were not things people pay and watch. So if you are a playwright, you must be struggling, oh?
Yes, you are right, because we've not gotten to the point where the theater has been given that kind of recognition and the push, and so you have to make sure you fight very hard to put up a production. So, but for us, the joy in gathering people to the National Theatre to sit down for 2 hours to watch alone and going back without anything in your pocket is enough, because I strongly believe that fulfilling your destiny on earth is paramount. And so I go all out to ensure that people are enjoying what I do.
Well, we're talking to the unassuming Nii Commey, and we're gradually digging into the kind of work he does. And he has a play coming up this Easter, and he describes that play in such witty words and juicy words. And so we'll take a break, and when we return, he'll tell us about that play, and then we'll dig a little further into his upbringing, his schools, family, and all those things. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Another round of applause. No. Thank you. Diamond, what happened? I am Diamond. So did you see it?
Welcome back to PM Express Personality Profile, and I'm hanging out with Nii Commey. I call him the master playwright. Nii Commey, your play Anti-Clockwise is due to hit the National Theatre this Easter, right? And you have described it as a universally mind-blowing piece that depicts every bit of everyday life, enclosed in rigorous humor with a touch of feminine emotions. That's deep. Why that description?
That description came as a result of the title, Anti-Clockwise. And Anti-Clockwise is a depiction of life. We're talking about social issues, we're talking about marital issues, we're talking about finances, career, and even economic issues. And in every society, you know, there comes a time in our lives as individuals, as a nation, as a people, where as much as you try to see your life progressing, things rather go the other way around, and it is up to how you are able to rise up to the challenge to fight to continue going up. And you will agree with me that people have committed suicide because as much as they try to see their life going in a particular direction, it goes the other way around. People have indulged in all sorts of social vices and other ways of handling these situations when it happens to them. So Anti-Clockwise basically depicts a story in our society where people want to go a particular direction, but as much as they try going in that direction, things, as it were, maybe nature, misfortunes, and other forms of forces drive them to a different place. So
these are serious issues.
Yes, because I realize that as a people, and if you follow me on my Facebook page for some time now, I've been capturing things that are going anti-clockwise even in our country and in Africa.
What are some of these?
For instance, I get to a traffic light around Tesano, and you get there and you see both the amber and the green on. I mean, that is anti-clockwise. You know, I mean, that is, for now, that is one of the things that comes to mind. Yeah, I mean, you come across situations that happen. There is a very serious carnage on our, very dangerous accident on our roads, and instead of carrying the people to the hospital, everybody brings out his mobile phone and then taking a picture. Yes, that is anti-clockwise. But then the deeper size of anti-clockwise in my play is when I spoke about a family that tries to see themselves somewhere in life, and as much as they try to climb the ladder, the more backwards they go. And so these are some of the issues in every area of their lives, marriage-wise, career-wise, finance-wise. We touch on all these issues.
You manage to make people laugh about this. That must take a lot of creativity, because the issues you're mentioning, they're serious issues.
Yes.
I will find it a bit strange to laugh about serious issues.
You know,
you manage to make people laugh.
Yeah, one thing about comedy is that comedy is serious business. I mean, that is the only way you can address very critical issues. And when you watch my plays, sometimes I take a swipe at very critical issues in the country, amongst ourselves, things that are abomination. I mean, things that you will on a normal basis not talk about. You just use comedy to break those that ice so that people can laugh. So people laugh, and then later on they go like, no, but you're talking to me, who the hell do you think you are? But then the person would have already laughed. So comedy is serious business, but then we try as much as possible to address issues through comedy, because it's one of the most effective ways to address social issues. I have my style, and I have a style of writing.
So how different is that from Able White's productions?
I wouldn't want to do much of a comparison, but I have my own unique style I write. And we are talking about composing natural songs. When you watch my plays, songs that we sing in them, I compose them. I write them, and then I have a lady in the play who also composes these songs.
So you sing too?
I don't sing.
You don't sing?
Yeah,
okay.
I write. Yeah, I'm a poet, so I'm able to write these songs. And I touch on other issues. Any other issue that comes to mind and I want to write, I do. It's very important to give honor to whom honor is due. Uncle Lebo White has done tremendously well in the theater industry. Should I even call it an industry? It's not an industry yet, but I mean in the theater world in Ghana. But that is not to say that theater totally died in Ghana. Theater, when you go to the drama studio, theater has been running. About 2 weeks ago, I was at the National Theater to watch Buko, my dance drama, and it was fantastic. The place was choked. The place was filled to capacity. So theater is running. Uncle Lebo White, I believe, took it to a different level in a business sense, in a way that people will now get closer to the stage drama. But then we must also acknowledge the fact that theater has been running. And when you go to Asylum Down, theater is running. Theater is running, and even up to now, theater is running everywhere. But I want to say that I have my own unique way, and I've been writing since 1997, and I continue to write. When I wrote Judas Iscariot in Accra in 2002, that was when people started asking me that, look, let's take this play to the National Theatre. In 2008, prior to the elections in 2008, I staged Bullet in My Abdomen, a poetic drama at the National Theatre. I staged Romantic Nonsense first at the drama studio. It got some small media hype. So I've been doing this. I've been doing this for some time now. I didn't come into the theater world just 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I've been in the field for a really long time.
So you're not threatened by the success of other playwrights or people working in the theater industry?
I rather feel that we have to encourage more people to go into this. Because as a creativity coach, I realize that there are just too many people in the creative arts who find themselves in the banking world. They find themselves working in the oil marketing companies and all that, and they've left what they have. They've left because there is no encouragement anywhere. Nobody is motivating these people. And over a period of time, so many of these people have called me, telling me, Charlie, I have a book to write. I don't know where to start. I don't get the time to write. Charlie, I want to do this. I want to do that. But my work is not allowing me. And I tell them that I'm also working. I'm not doing theater as a full-time thing. I do it on weekends and on, in the evenings.
Yeah, you've raised quite a number of issues. As we were talking, you mentioned creativity coach. You also said that you write the songs which are used in your plays. You also said that you were a poet. Who are you?
Depending on where I am. For instance, in my church, especially in the church setting, usually they see me more as a poet. I do a lot of poetry recitals at religious functions, social functions. So I do quite a number of poetry. I also do, as it were, I do creativity coaching for tertiary.
What is creativity coaching?
It is something that is quite new in Ghana. I mean, creativity coaching is how we are able to motivate or pick the creative art. And when we talk about creative art, we talk about from broadcasting to painting, to events, to journalism, talking about poetry, pottery, floral design. All these people fall under the creative art. And I realized that there were so many people who are spread across doing their own thing, and they had this talent still in them, and nobody is nurturing them. So I felt that why don't I give the opportunity for people who can be coached, people who can be mentored, not just by me, but by people in the field. For instance, maybe very soon I'll bring you some of the my people from the tertiary and second cycle institutions who want to go into journalism and radio presenting and all that, so that you can, even by the mere fact that they see you on television and you telling them that they can make it, is enough motivation to them. So we link these tertiary and then second cycle institution students to the people in the field, the music, DJing, acting, drama, everywhere, movie, just so that they can be motivated. Look, you can do this thing even if you are working. And quite a number of people come to mind. You talk about Nii Commey of Mokobefe. He works at the I think Stanchart also. And there are quite a number of musicians who are doing mainstream work, but then they are combining their talent with these things, and it's working for them. So why should we complain that the economy is hard? Why should we complain that the job we are doing, we are not getting satisfaction? And yet you have your talent and you are sitting in it. There is nothing like doing a kind of job that you love doing.
You love doing.
Yeah.
I see. And then you're a poet also.
Yes.
Can you recite a favorite poet for us?
They wanted to tie us down so we could suffer from a shameful frown. They wanted to change our name from a proper noun to a common noun so that they could wear the crown while we look like clowns. They wanted to misdirect the precision of our decision with indecision. But after a long revision, they realized that they could not overshadow our vision of our life be desiccated and the sunshine on our heart be abrogated, made a mistake, because he who the sun shall set free shall be free indeed. Even though we would meet challenges on the way with tribulations and intimidation, shaking hands with frustrations and abominations, we shall not allow any of this negative permutation to be a limitation to our destination.
Wonderful. This just came off the cuff, or this is a poem you've written and performed before?
Yes, I've performed it on a number of occasions. It's one of the several poems that I've written, but this one I performed not too long ago. The last time I performed it was about last week.
What's the title?
The Blessables, the Cherishables, and the Uncursables.
And what's the message in it?
The message is to uplift the souls and the spirit of the downtrodden.
You also work with SOS. What do you do there?
I advise the organization on issues pertaining to communications and fundraising. SOS is an international organization based with the headquarters based in Austria. It's a Latin word meaning Socialis Societas, meaning social society, but so many people have misconstrued it as save our souls. As the image builder of the organizations it behooves me to sometimes rectify some of these nuances. SOS is also not a school. We are an international child welfare organization. What I do is making as many friends as possible for these underprivileged children we find in our care. We go into the community, we bring them, and we give them long-term family-based care. So we can have a child for like as many years as 24 years. We take care of them, their education, their medical, everything, we take care of them. And so it's not a small model, and so on a daily basis we try as much as possible to make friends, corporate friends, individual friends, foundations, just to support this worthy cause. So I play a dual, raising funds to support these kids on a daily basis, as well as building the corporate image of the organization.
You seem to be a man of many parts. What kind of family system did you come from? Did this influence who you became, how you approach problems, how you face challenges, how you address the challenges you face, etc.?
In a way, yes, because I grew up in Mamprobi. I'm a typical Ghan. I grew up Mamprobi.
Ganyobi.
Mamprobi, Choco, Jamestown.
I see.
And I really relish those moments where we used to play by the seaside. And it's fun. These are areas that I always have that kind of nostalgic sentiment anytime when we used to use the mummy wagons, the arrow glasses, bone shaker. I mean, it was fun. And Mamprobi, it's a typical Ghana community. Each one for himself, God for us all. So even though my dad was in the military, I mean, I'm not coming from, my family is okay. It's okay. But then when you live in Mamprobi, you would always want to move with the area people. So sometimes you come back from school.
So what you're saying is that your family was middle class, average income, so you were okay. You're not like
I would not say
the boys who.
I would not say I am okay totally, but I mean, if your father is a military man, he may not be overly rich, but then It's
he holds his ground.
Because I remember throughout our vicinity in those days, we were the only people who had. He went to peacekeeping and he brought a colored TV.
That's right.
Yes. So in the evening, you have to go, and if in the afternoon we are playing football, you don't allow me to play. In the evening, you don't enter into our house to watch American Ninja. No, it will not happen.
American Ninja.
Yeah.
Those are the movies you watch,
yes,
right?
Commando, Rambo, and all.
That's right. That's right. So I mean, your father's a military man. Did that shape you? Did it put in a lot more discipline? Because I understand that children of military officers endure a lot of discipline.
Partly, because those days corporal punishment was paramount. You go to school, you misbehave, they cane you. Sometimes they cane you, you come, you see.
So your father whipped the demons out of you?
No, he will not beat you. He will not beat you. He used to beat my elderly, my senior brothers, but he was not. We were younger then. But when you go to school and you are beaten, you cannot say you are coming to report to him. You
get nothing.
He will tell you that. I mean, it's one of those things. Just take it. So you just realize that when you go to school and you are beaten, you have to keep quiet. You see that there are bruises all over your back and everywhere, but you can't report it because he will tell you that it's a way of life. So you grow up into it.
So how many siblings do you have, and did any of them end up in the same profession or career path you chose?
No, I have 5 siblings. One lady, and then 4. We are 4.
Men.
Yeah, 4 men. But one thing I realized about my family is that they love entrepreneurship.
I see.
Yeah, they love entrepreneurship. My elderly sister has her master's in human resource, was working in a bank, stopped, and then opened a mother care. My brother was working in an organization, stopped and opened his own business.
Right.
So basically, I think I'm the only person who is doing.
But you're still running your own business, really. I mean, doing all the plenty things you're doing and making money from.
I hope my boss at SOS is not watching. So,
so tell us about marriage too. I know you're married. You have kids?
Yes, I have a kid. I have one kid, Keno, who is 1 year, about 4 months now. Yes, I'm married for the past 2 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
family life, marriage is good. I'm the type who will not allow issues to. I mean, if there is an issue I cannot do anything about, it's like my money is missing and I can't find the money. I mean, what do I do?
Hustle.
It's like you go to the exams hall and you cannot write the exams and you start crying, or you are that. No, I have not been moved by that. So I'm the happy-go-lucky type when it comes to thinking too much about issues. And I really enjoy marriage because it has made me a better writer.
I see. Tell me how that. I'm curious about that. It has made you a better writer? Why? How?
It has made me a better writer because I've got to understand, not understand per se, but living with a woman. Yeah, you realize that it's so. I mean, every day is. You get a different story.
Do you recite poems to her too? You must be
very
romantic.
I'm romantic to her. I hope she will not say I'm not.
I'm sure she might appreciate your romanticness, and of course also the fact that you could be making money from being romantic. Or
when we are home, I'm totally. I can really dance when I'm home. I can really misbehave when I'm home, but then that is my family, and I try to feel free and very comfortable when I'm home. And with this small girl, you always want to dance. She always wants you to dance to make her happy, and so anytime I get home, I have to get something new to do to make her happy.
And how supportive is your wife to what you do?
She's very, very supportive. She really encourages when I get a story. I discuss with her. I say, Charlie, this is the story that I really want to write. And then sometimes, even with titles and other things, you say, this title is not good. Let's do it this way. So she helps, even though she's not the art person. At least she appreciates the fact that this is what the husband does.
What kind of person is she if you say she's not an arts person?
She's the banking type.
Banking.
Yeah, she's the banking type.
She works with the figures. She keeps your
yeah,
money for you.
Yeah, she's a statistics.
She's a
statistics person, statistics and maths person. So, so we are totally different. I'm the English type and she's the maths type. So if there is any calculation, I say you did stats. If any vocab, I say you did English. Tell me the meaning. So, but then when it comes to the thing is ready, you are putting it up on stage. Any other thing she can do to support, she asks, what can I do? Just let me do this. And she's very, very supportive when it comes to that.
Okay, so Nii Commey is obviously excited, a romantic person. The wife supports him in everything he does. And we've learned quite a bit about his family, his work. Thank you very much, Nii Commey. It's been great having you on the show. We've been hanging out with Nii Commey, who is a master playwright. In fact, he has his next play, Anti-Clockwise, staging at the National Theatre this Easter Sunday. I think you should go watch. My name is Stephen Enti, and this has been PM Express Personality Profile. We'll be back next week.
Brother-in-law, flat screen?
Of course.
Dowry, a parcel of land in and around East Legon
or Trasaco Valley.
But Dimples in Guantabisa, are you sure there's no typographical error in this list?
Typographical error?
Yes.
Why?
Please check.
Okay, let me check. Oh, I am so sorry. Sorry, okay, there's an error. Okay, you see the Coca-Cola, let's make it 3 crates of Smirnoff Ice and 3 crates of Irish cream. I think that should be all. Can we start buying the items from next week?
Crombe da Enu Botum Crombe da Brantier Enu Botum.
And where is he going?
The picture is clear, Dimples. I am standing in front of you and you refer to me as the third person singular. Dimples in Guantabisa. I am not Nebuchadnezzar, so I don't need Daniel to interpret the writings on the wall. It is perfectly clear that it was a mistake accepting my proposal, so let's correct that mistake by letting sleeping dogs lie.
Go! You are nothing but bondage around me. Please go. Go with your poverty. God, I thank you for delivering me out of the snare of this fowler. Hey! Don't forget your provisions. I'm very sure you need it for soakings. Go away, poverty-stricken, pot-bellied boyfriend. Go! Ah!
Dimples, remember, you come to love not by finding the perfect person, but finding the imperfect person perfectly.
Go! Shoot, 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 shoot. Ah. Go away. Good riddance. If your boyfriend know they do you well,